religious assimilation paved the way for the Edomites to eventually claim full citizenship in Judea. From this position, they could begin to assert a racial identification with the Judeans. As descendants of Esau, they sought to be absorbed into the family of Jacob Israel, effectively taking on a new identity. This process of integration and identity adoption came to be known as Esau's stolen identity. It represents a significant shift in how the Edomites engaged with and ultimately infiltrated Judean society, moving from external conflict to internal assimilation and identity appropriation. The Edomites' strategy of assimilation and identity adoption extended beyond mere religious acceptance. Their ultimate goal was to gain potential ownership of the coveted Promised Land, a prize long desired by their ancestors. To achieve this, they recognized the need for a deeper infiltration into Judean society. The Edomites set their sights on the primary religious parties in Judea, the Pharisees and Sadducees. These groups held significant religious and political influence over the country. By infiltrating these parties, the Edomites could position themselves at the heart of Judean power structures. Most of these true Jews aligned themselves with alternative religious groups like the Essenes, with some joining the more militant Zealots. A select few, such as Joseph of Arimathea, Nicodemus, and Gamaliel, associated with the mainstream Pharisees or Sadducees. The population of Judea at this time was a mix of Judean Israelites, the majority, and Edomite Canaanites, who had adopted Judean religion and citizenship. By the 1st century CE, the Edomite appropriation of a new identity was complete. Over the course of a century, these Edomite Canaanite infiltrators had fully integrated and assimilated into Judean society. This situation created a complex interplay of identities, with the true Israelite remnant maintaining their distinct heritage amidst a changing social and religious landscape dominated by Edomite influence and Roman control. The passage emphasizes the preservation of authentic Israelite lineage and faith in the face of these significant cultural and political shifts. Understanding the Pharisees, a complex religious group. The Pharisees were one of the most influential religious groups during the Second Temple period, playing a significant role in shaping Judean religious practice. However, their legacy has often been misunderstood and oversimplified, leading to misconceptions about their beliefs and practices. The Pharisees were indeed one of the most prominent and influential religious groups in Judea during the Second Temple period. Their influence extended across various aspects of Judean religious life, and they enjoyed significant popular support among the Judean people. However, describing them as the largest religious party may oversimplify the complex landscape of Judean sects during that time. The Sadducees, who represented the priestly aristocracy, and the Essenes, a more ascetic group, also played vital roles in the religious and political dynamics of the period. The Pharisees were part of a broader spectrum of religious movements, each with its own distinct beliefs and practices. The Pharisees were known for their rigorous adherence to the Torah and their commitment to applying its teachings to everyday life. They were indeed recognized for their moral rigor and zeal in preserving Judean law and tradition. However, the label of self-righteous, often found in New Testament critiques, portrays the Pharisees as overly concerned with outward appearances of piety, sometimes at the expense of inner spiritual humility. While this critique may apply to some within the Pharisaic movement, it risks generalizing a diverse and complex group whose motivations and practices varied widely. One of the most significant contributions of the Pharisees to Judean religious life was their devotion to a body of oral traditions that interpreted and applied the Torah in practical ways. These traditions were seen as essential to understanding and fulfilling the Torah's commandments, and played a central role in Pharisaic teaching. The Pharisees did not view these oral traditions as superseding the Torah, but rather as complementing and explicating it. In conclusion, the Pharisees were a complex and influential group whose commitment to the Torah and its oral interpretation had a lasting impact on Judean religious practice. Understanding their legacy requires a nuanced approach, that considers the diversity of thought and practice within the group, as well as their broader context within the Judean religious landscape of the Second Temple period.